to the Echo.
Skewed obviously still showing up as one of the most dominant brick players in the league there early in the round. Oh, the stun, Kevster. That almost goes horribly wrong. Good biotic grenade connection from Shu though, talking about support superstars. And Kevster is going to fall here. The Gladiators do not have control of the point right now, and Answer's going to keep tickling it here. Building an EMP map would be a great result for the Shock in a losing fight.
Yeah, I was going to say, even if you lose this fight, you come back and you have an EMP already. EMP
getting the Primal Rage. Space is also put to sleep here, so much crowd control leverage at the Gladiators here, and News cannot find anything with the Primal. Shu going to fall down now. San Francisco brought all of their ultimates into this fight, and they're going to have the point as a reward.
You're still going to get a lot of percentage here, though, for the Gladiators, even with how this kind of fight ended. And you do pick up Twilight. Yeah, you pick up Twilight towards the end.
I mean, this is a matchup of superstar supports. I mean, their backlines on these teams are unreal. Twilight trying to stay alive. It's going to be Violet that goes down. Kevster tries to go for the stick, but is staved off. Glister wants to chase the Brig here, but the Mega is going to make Skewed a pretty hard nut to crack, and still they'll persist. They get rid of the Brigitte here, and the Shock is still in control. Glister is looking absolutely dynamic on the Tracer.
And this is what we actually expected from Glister when he was picked up by. That's Kevster's pulse bomb eaten by Choi.
Huge
4-player EMP.
It's so big, man. Mirror gets his wings clipped, and Muse couldn't even jump away. That's a perfect connection from San Francisco. Arndt is making a splash on his storied debut. Return, Rylan, to the immediately. Muse has to use the Primal Rage here, and the Gladiators can't afford to leave anything left in the tank now if they want to have a chance to take this round. Glister has a bomb and he's patiently waiting on it here. He has no recourse, so he needs healing in a moment, and he could be in trouble. He's trying to work down Kevster right now, who gets healed up, and Mirror has a duplicated Primal Rage here. This could get dicey for San Francisco.
Yeah, and it looks like the Shocker just
Shu's
dead. Kills off of the point. Yeah, and they're getting the kills off the point. They fell back a little bit. And now
here come the reinforcements though. Violet has rallied at just the right time, and that keeps Smurf pretty vital late into the fight, but it's a sleep dart connecting onto Twilight. Glister flies in, makes a flourish, gets the kill on Muse, but the Gladiators still have the numbers until now. Arthur's going to swing in to get rid of Mirror. Troy Coben is stunned, but he's still on the point. Another EMP in this fight. Is it enough? The heals are gone for San Francisco though. A big EMP to be sure, but the Gladiators backline can still function with their abilities turned on.
Here obviously doesn't have a Mercy pocket for this, as Skewed gets hit with a biotic grenade here early. They're going to try and get a dive on him, but still it's the pressure that comes in from the Gladiators. Able to take out two, but
it's not over yet.
And Smurf working together, yep.
The flash missed. Kevster, that went over his shoulder, I think, with Troy Coben being desuited and removed. San Francisco probably need to deal with Kevster. Getting rid, I guess, of space is pretty big there, but Smurf is low. Gets a repair pack, though. And Arndt sticks around late into the fight. That's 2 kills for him.
Maybe the speed of the...
A big sticky bomb connection here could be pretty devastating, but it looks like Troy Coben had his defense matrix turned in the correct direction. Okay, Deadeye into the Primal. Okay, gets Kevster. I don't think Arndt expects to get the Tracer at all. That's such a... He just went fishing and comes up with a Coelacanth, I guess. That's beautiful stuff from San Francisco. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he did it on purpose. That's astonishing if so. Smurf had Primal. He had Primal. He didn't use it. Maybe no chance? Surely at that point he doesn't realize that Twilight and Arndt are about to get blown up. That was interesting.
I think he's just maybe...
Hit with a biotic grenade early on and slept. Well, get the whole welcome. Whoa, my Skewed goes down. The drink. And that's both supports taken care of by Smurf. More like Gargamel. This guy's hunting him down. Oh. Space gets through with a self-destruct, but Muse has already fallen, Matt. I think keeping Violet alive at this point is pretty important. They're not able to do so. Mirror gets a duplicate, comes out of that with just...
Yeah, I mean, well, he also got woken up. I'm sure somebody is going to have a talking to about that. As Glister will take out Shu here with a pulse bomb to kick off this fight. Rally in play, though, for the Gladiators.
Good repair pack. A long fight, definitely going to benefit the San Francisco Shock now unless Kevster finds gold, and he digs one up. Prospecting for Smurf. He gets rid of the Winston. With Muse down now, the Gladiators still feel like they can hold the point. Perhaps until now. Troy Coben gets a nano boost. And he'll sit on the point here. He wants to try in Primal Rage. Almost knocked off the map by the whip shot there, but that's the Primal he was looking for. Shu has gone down. Violet is able to secure that kill. Keeping Twilight alive is a must right now for the Shock. They need their Ana, and Kevster finishes the job. 99% though, the Gladiators still haven't flipped the point back, so Mirror has to dig a bit deeper for the damage. He got Glister with the sticky bombs. And now he'll be able to wipe out the rest of the shot.
And Choi is getting staggered out here for a bit. So, he gets demacked at the final second. Oh, that's
99%. Don't get a turret up for this. Maybe it's
I'd also say we talk about Torbjorn in more of like a static way, but with the ability to there he is. With like overload and being able to get some more armor and help and do some serious up close damage, he's pretty good in terms of like a brawl type of hero. And the turret actually just kind of creates a crossfire, so
you will get blown up pretty darn quickly. So the Gladiators have to give a wide berth to this kind of setup, and that allows Violet, gives him the space to set up this Ant Matrix, but he's run down by both DPS. First it was Birdering with the hack, then Mirror comes in with his second kill. He's nano boosted right now. That's 3 for the Doomfist. This is pretty brutal for San Francisco.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was actually a hack that went onto Violet. All of a sudden, you just one-shot somebody. So
Shatter on space. Super there, ready to deal with Muse, and Glister also gets rid of that Winston. That's a trade though. Violet and Super have fallen in this fight so far. Glister might have to go for a Death Blossom, but he needs space to be able to mech for that first. He'll just take the space instead. Nice boot, but Glister knows it's time for the Blossom because the Gladiators have no choice but to stand and deliver. Space gets nano, they keep him alive in the mech, and the Death Blossom was already shut down. The Diva's doing so much work. Oh no! The EMP and the Biter Grenade at the same time. Glister couldn't heal. Choikoven is so low, and Birdering, he's chasing that kill. Molten Core thrown at the point, but Birdering still 100 HP and happy to get out. Still, the Gladiators had to step off. The Molten Core forces them away. And the Shock get a reprieve. Lucy's Rocket Punch cooldown for the time being, so we'll just play safe for now. Work for displacement as much as possible. And he'll also protect Shu just from being there. Oh, great charge! That was Super turning around and seeing the Doomfist coming, getting a mutual knockdown. And that allows the kill on Mirror to come up.
And this is, you could not have asked for anything more from the Shock.
There's no question. Muse though, okay. Yeah, he gets the primal. It was actually a nano boost on Birdring of all people, and an EMP that hits 6, but the nano target fascinates me. 2 players are still removed on the side of the Gladiators here. The EMP alone just wasn't enough, and Muse had to use primal just to stay alive. That is the kind of fight that you think on the paper looks really good for the Gladiators.
Yeah.
Okay, Mirror, another mutual knockdown by the looks of things, but the sound barrier is going to mean that he can pick himself back up and get to work. Hit with a shield bash. All the CC is going to be aimed at Mirror. And this looks like another decent fight for San Francisco. A lot of ultimates used, though, crucially, both DPS ones, and Super limbering up for the last fight here.
Yeah, let get out safely after this. Bomb from space doesn't get anything. As with like one player got really low, it's going to have to be Mirror getting the nano boost. So that'll
Mirror
be a bomb that goes into the back. Yeah, this looks good for the Shock.
Mirror drops down. He's able to get rid of Violet at the very least here. So both supports are gone for San Francisco, but they're so close now. And just coming out of VMP, Birdering gets taken down. The Shock don't need healers to finish the map. 56 seconds remain. To get away, you can see how much he fears getting separated from his team. And FD God, well, that's an FD God special, Matt.
As he is constantly, I think it's something that's really like plagued the Shock. Is he's had a lot of incidents where he's like the first player to die in a lot of these fights. Him and Moth, very different players. So Choi and Mirror having a 1v1 there doesn't work out good for Mirror, but very different players, those two. So Biotic Grenade that hits FD God and Nero, so they're going to have to back up a little bit. They're going to have Super back in the mix now to try and contest. You see that hack come down from the high ground, though. Really nice hack there from Birdring.
It's gigantic. Space gets frozen briefly, but it's all Nero can do to keep some sort of presence on the point. Muse gets rid of that immortality field, and the discipline not to chase the kill on Violet. Really impressive stuff. Super caught on his own there. That was a San Francisco wall that left Super on his own.
I was going to say, that is their, they walled off their own main tank, and now we're all staggering out. So.
Okay, yeah, doesn't use the translocator. In fact, just the EMPs where he was standing. I wonder if he sequenced that incorrectly. He still gets Super, Matt. It's going to be a sound barrier now for the San Francisco Shock. Moth also had to go for his, I think. I don't think he got much value from it. Supercharges out here in all space with 2. Another huge self-destruct from the man himself. There's a reason why he's 4th in the league. And that's another comfortable Gladiators win.
Yeah, and you also had Super kind of like pinning in towards that.
He opted not to use it to get that EMP. Instead, he goes for the high ground. It doesn't have purchase. Still, the Gladiators are back here in numbers, though, so the Shock are going to have a tough time whichever way you slice it. Choi's de-seeded already, rather. Glister's able to get rid of Shu, and Nero might have given his team a chance at this now. The self-destruct for Space has to come to create exactly that, and Choi couldn't break line of sight. Space takes him down, and FD God is the last one standing. A beat for that one is curious indeed. But Nero is a pain.
Muse is so low, walking on the molten core from Nero. Is Nero trying to use Overload, gets knocked out of the way. The Shock really making the Gladiators work for this here. Is finally they'll be able to get it over the line. So this composition with the Sombra.
Right, this time walking to it. Space is self-destructing in the left corner is LOS pretty comfortably. And Glister has a death loss and he's ready.
You keep fighting this if you're the Gladiators. Primal, Nano, and you're going to have an EMP. Glister's death loss has to be huge here.
Glister has to fade away though. Yeah, gets hit with a biotic grenade, Matt. Muse is able to find the Primal Rage in the meantime, though he gets the kill with that one. There's still a Diva mech there. Glister had no choice but to go for the ultimate anyway. Space is so good at staying alive and keeping that defense matrix active. The Gladiators are going to get across the line, and they'll do it with an extra 36 seconds on the clock.
I tell you what, that is just yet. He'll drop down to the point.
Disengage from the Shock, but Super doesn't get the memo or doesn't have the option to get away. This could be dangerous. Super's, Mirror very low though. Nero catches him on his way through, but Glister's been removed. So that upfront damage now, not so much an issue, and Muse can start to party a little bit more hardy. He pushes FD God back. Overtime now, and again, it's only ones and twos that the Shock can trick onto the point with right now. They really need more than that. Choi, that's a lot of D-mech damage there. The remech damage, rather, from Space onto Choi's mech. 250 straight to the face is a big deal against these compositions. Muse wanted to try and chase Violet all the way to spawn, but he couldn't. He gets stunned up. The self-destruct will create the space the Gladiators need to shut the Shock out. He still hasn't jumped. He just walks up. He says, okay, I'm going to force you guys to make a dangerous decision, but he jumps to the back line. So sneaky. The cat burglar Muse. That is perfect. He body blocks so many of the San Francisco players into that choke, but still eventually he's taken down. Glister has a Deadeye, and they don't matter too much. 62.8% for the Gladiators. They need 95, man. Deadeye, amplified. Bellissimo. Moth taken down there, and as Glister getting rid of Space, Meki just throws a flash in that general direction. Super's fallen, but the Shock is still playing with 5 individuals right now, and that is that Molten Core you mentioned. So hard for Muse to do anything here. The Gladiators have a better time bank, Matt, but when it comes to the execution, they fluff it. They are inside a small room. It's kind of tough for Doomfist because people are standing in the doorway. Boot from FD God creates some space, but eventually San Francisco are going to start to struggle in this position. That first shot not connecting. A kill on Shu would have been massive there for Glister.
Yeah, you beat that close setup there for the Shock by coming out. You don't bring out the Torb just yet, so you'll have Reaper in the mix. That is FD God dead right away.
I mean,
Super here as well.
Kevster has 400 HP, so that should tell you just how much he's done with his abilities. Spoiler, it's a lot. I think he got a seismic slam on 3 people there. Or rather, a rising uppercut, excuse me.
We didn't talk about. I think it makes a huge impact. You see self-destruct going up there. Self-destruct EMP, nice combination. It should be the Gladiators getting this first checkpoint, barring just a total
that's
beat.
Clean.
Yeah. Look at the other example I think we can have of it so far. Look at having a fielder here for the Dallas Fuel. It energized the team, not just Kevster.
No doubt about it. Although, yeah, not a great start in that fight for Kevster. Glister was definitely waiting for him there. The Shock, they haven't really shown an interest in playing the Doomfist style. They really do like Torbjorn composition, so they're always going to be reacting, not acting. And tough position to play from. You don't get to set the pace so much here. Super plays like that, and eventually you'll get back in the driver's seat. But Kevster continues to do work. He returns and blows up Violet immediately. Choi gets desuited here. And it's FD God's aggression that actually gives the Shock a bit more of a chance to repeat. And it keeps San Francisco pretty healthy.
Yeah, and the Molten Core comes back from Nero. So you're able to just drop that on the cart. And Muse's Primal Rage opening it up now, but definitely not certain that they're going to keep pushing this forward. Space takes the charge there for Muse.
That's, talk about putting your body on the line there. Clever stuff from FD God. I think he saw the outline of the Sombra and hit away from the EMP. Unfortunately, that combined with Super Shatter, there's not really enough. It's hard to tell what they might pull this off, man. Choi still on the point here. Super just charges back because he doesn't want to get it knocked off. I think Muse is trying to create the space to get the cap. Glister is traded out for Skewed here, and Super's closing in and get another shatter. A stop here is gargantuan for the Shock, and that's not an understatement.
Yeah, you had to use Sound Barrier to get out of there, though, which is quite unfortunate. You're going to get a kill on the Muse here. You'll be able to back up. But now Super on the cart to try and bait it just to be an EMP on him, and it's just Super and Choi, so you get the Coalescence off.
Kevster's down. The Coalescence from Violet. It catches Kevster. He had a duplicate mate and not a chance to use it, and now the Deadeye gets 2 for Glister. The Gladiators looks like they run short on steam. At a part of the map that teams, I mean, I guess I literally the Dallas Fuel at the Nano. He dives in, but not too deep. Glister does cancel the Deadeye. Nero going to try and create some space, and yeah, he leaves Muse out at sea essentially because there's a gulf between them. It's a molten gulf.
Look at
it's a straight, none the same.
I was going to say, Kevster is deflecting. He's just getting shot in the back by the Torb turret.
I don't know what he's hoping for with the Genji here.
He kind of banked on this one combo for everything.
Nanoblade time, Empty God's already fallen, and the Immortality field was not far behind. It's got to be 3 for Kevster, and sure enough, Glister falls by his hand. Nero's able to deal with him there, and finding 2 kills is pretty big, but Muse has to respect the right click of the rivet gun, for sure, but eventually San Francisco is shut down. From the menace that is Muse, and he'll stay safe for now. San Francisco are a little bit split, and that allows space to delve in and get rid of Nero. But the rally now, they'll group up around this, and Skewed is left on his own as well. This is a desperation EMP, man. The Gladiators have to slow the Shock down, but Glister benefits from that Immortality field. This has got to be a San Francisco dub.
Yeah, this looks like a Shock dub, is just to keep himself up.
He touches.
Yeah, but yeah, look at this.
Wow.
The Amp Matrix right in the middle. You can get the window through both sides. It's the Shock.
Arn's trying to get away from Muse here. Desperately, you can see his team trying to keep him alive. They trade for Skewed here, but Muse is still free to go about his business. Violet knocked him away and now has the shield bash for safety. Space just jumps on in and gets rid of Smurf here. This is looking shaky for San Francisco, but Twilight has built his Nano. He needs to stay alive though, and Choi needs to protect him. He can't.
Yeah, I mean, this is such a hard situation. Like, how do you keep him alive during that? Glister trying to turn it. You have Choi still here as well as he gets demacked. As Glister's gonna just try and make it out with his life for a split second there. But you know, Ans has to use his coach gun there to knock back the Tracer. But as well,
you could see his health bar struggling. That's just too much damage to deal with. Skewed, nice whip shot there. It's going to force Smurf away and make him a very easy sleep target because he's just sort of floating down in midair. So sure, Smurf gets to stop the cap, but he doesn't really get to do anything else. The rest of the Gladiators now can make their way in, and Smurf has to use Primal here, I'd say, or does he just save it? Yeah, he just saves it. He knows it's done.
Yeah, not turning that. Really nice dive there from the Gladiators. They realize
Violet here. He'll settle for creating space. And that self-destruct was a little bit hard to track. Smurf finds 2 with a knockoff, and that environmental kill is a big pressure relief for San Francisco.
Absolutely, especially with an EMP that comes through during that fight. So you do get 1 tick if you're the Gladiators. You're not really close to anything available here.
Oh, Birdwing detected briefly. Okay, he still goes. Yeah, translocates up. He EMPs first. So strange. Still, though, worked out. Smurf is down. Kevs is well and truly amongst the pigeons now. And the Pulse Bomb is going to secure the D-Mech on Choi. And that won't be staggered because, of course, the Gladiators are here to finish the job now. Primal Rage against Smurf just got rolled. Absolutely dominated. He got whip shot and slept again. There is nothing he can do against his backline, Matt.
Around very fast. It is so, especially because on the Widow, he's out there alone pretty much. Maybe just a switch to get back in time, but he's on the legs, so he brings in he locks the legs here. And trying to get back towards the point, which he does. We'll see if he stays on it.
Legs.
Big biotic field, though. Look at that. The healing is good when they were on the Sombra. So they look, though, to counter and play the McCree. That's an EMP on the way in, but it's 2 kills. Onto with a headshot and a bird ring, and they take out Skewed.
Yeah, the timing. The Gladiators wanted to be the ones that set the pace, and they have been for most of the series, Matt. But the Shock with Smurf now getting subbed in, they take the fight to Los Angeles. And guess who sat on the point? Yeah, right now Smurf's going to get... Yes, with Muse dead, I'd like to hope so.
Well, you can primal. Yeah, this will allow other teammates.
Forces Muse away. That's a defensive biotic grenade there for the San Francisco Shock, which means they can still be affected by one from the other side, and they are. That comes in from Shu. Arns, nowhere to go. Space fighting Twilight so early that nothing can be done about the damage taken. And the Gladiators looking really good now. There's going to be a rally and play for Skew, but they need to be careful. Already a tick on the point, and Shu has gone down now, so Skew needs to be around his teammates. He's been separated from them by the Primal Rage. Their only healer, too far away to be effective. 5 players hit with the EMP, and it's a good look, but there's not enough players for the Gladiators until Space cuts Arns and Twilight out of formation. That is a gigantic self-destruct. He's been doing it all series. In San Francisco, there is no response to that, no retort.
Well, he's barely going to make it. He touches, but he's got to recall straight away.
At least overtime secure, but San Francisco are in no position to properly contest the point right now. They're back in their own spawn. Yes, Smurf gets there, uses Primal Rage, so Glister and Chuikoven stream in, but look, there's no healing, no supports available for San Francisco. Can they do it without healers again? Kevs is in danger. Smurf makes sure he takes that mega health pack. Doesn't get rid of Kevster though. He'll be able to come back and fight another day, and Smurf, again, that lack of healing, that's what kills the Shock in the end. And we get a map 5 set up here. They kick him into the door frame and not at the Winston as he would have liked, but he's brawling now. And he's pretty healthy. Shields up to interrupt the hack there, and Mira's taken down by Glister, Matt.
And what is this, what, Neo Goats 2? Neo Goats the remix? This composition the Shock has brought out. It just incredible sustain with the Batiste, the immortality, and then Torbjorn with the overload, the turret at off angles. You see how it's kind of played here now, and then the Reaper. I mean,
great recovery from San Francisco to come back after that. And Super now is ready with that Earth Shatter. He built it brawling in the previous fight, and he wastes no time in dispensing it.
Well, sure.
Back on point.
Yeah, you're gonna keep fighting this if you're the Shock. You have Super on the point. Glister's still pretty close. Choi can jump back in. Looks like the Torb turret, the only thing standing. To punch to it.
Hey there.
Nero goes
cathartic for Miro.
Yeah.
Hey there.
Still wait for the Gladiators to dodge that Ant Matrix. It being them is kind of tricky, but at the sound barrier, the Gladiators again, they want to be the ones that start this fight. An Immortality Field had to be used so early on, but Mira's down. Super found him with a wayward Fire Strike, but still, the supports for the Shock are gone. Again, they have to go without their backline. Super tries for a shatter and catches Muse. Glister receives him as he lands with a Death Blossom. This buys a little bit of space for that backline, but again, the healing needs to happen. Shu goes down. Super finds yet another kill with a Fire Strike, but Choi's going to be desuited after being hacked. Not ideal. He can't even self-destruct to get the remake when he wants it. The Shock have only a couple players now. It's just going to be trickles for the next few moments, and the Gladiators want to put this one to rest, put the Shock to bed in this first round on Lijiang Tower. Violet's going to saunter up here. He has that Fade available, so he buys a little bit more time, but eventually he has to back off. Long-range Molten Core doesn't seem to bother the Gladiators at all, and another EMP to bring Super straight back down to the ground. Coalescence here is really going to help things for the Shock, and they'll get it done. They have the numbers, Matt. And a time.
Use Super head. Oh, okay. Hello.
Like a bat out of hell, Matt. Glister is still somehow able to get away. That teleporter's there, but Birdring is charged up a little bit more. Nero's able to freeze the enemy Symmetra. The ice block kill. And Mira's going to clean up here.
Did he charge through the TP?
Yes, he did. He came through the TP.
That's awesome. This is a contender.
Immortality Field and Sound Barrier. That's enough to keep the Shock alive after all that CC. But Glister can't get away. He tried to teleport, but he was stuck in place for just long enough for Mira to dot the eye. Shu goes down, though. They've lost the Batiste to the Blizzard. But the Shock are no closer to capturing the point right now, and Mira's not going to make it any easier. Another ultimate used for San Francisco just to get on even playing field with the Gladiators.
I mean, he barely lit on and stopped the cap from going through.
Oh, the shadow looks like it goes awry, maybe because the wall boosts Muse in an unexpected position. Still, Mira's causing problems once again. Finds Glister with the rocket punch, and there has to be an Ant Matrix now, but Birdring just plays outside of the bounds of the widescreen plasma TV. And he burns Chuikoven down, he can't do a damn thing about his damage.
This may be it. Yeah, I mean, this may be it. Who's going to get back on here and touch?
No one! Just in time. Okay, there was a touch from... yeah, it was FD God that keeps this alive. Glister has no HP, though. He's done. The San Francisco Shock, to pull up short here after such a competitive series, has got a sting. They get Super on there for just a moment, but that's all it is. A fleeting glimpse of hope. Until the coffin lid is shut by the Doomfist, and the Gladiators take it away in a hair-raising 5-map affair.
Oh, it's a big way to bounce back from the Gladiators, though, right? They win that map number 1, and then the next 2 games, the Shock look to have figured it out, right? When they were playing that Sombra with the Doomfist, they brought out a Torbjorn.